over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew, and thanks to everybody for joining today's webinar. This is our first webinar of the year featuring energy efficiency success stories from our Energy Star partners. So in today's webinar, you'll hear from our communications team as well as 2 partners who have been Partner of the Year winners in the past. So we're very excited to have them share their stories with you today. You'll hear from Commonwealth Partners and Corning Incorporated, and they've both had very creative strategies to spread the word about their company's energy efficiency achievements, and along the way they've been able to engage their stakeholders, including both their building tenants and employees. So I'm sure everyone on the line today will pick up on some interesting tips, and you'll be able to plan your own Earth Day events, if not for this year, then hopefully in future years. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Elena from our communications team.
Thank you, Stacy. Just want to check, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Elena.
Thanks, Andrew. All right, thanks everybody for joining, and thanks to Jessica and Kelly for lending your expertise today. I'm just going to keep it quick so we can get straight to our valuable partners and hear what they recommend for Earth Day, but I do want to give you a quick overview of resources that EPA provides to try and make Earth Day easy to celebrate with Energy Star resources. So first we have a variety of materials featuring our simple call to action, the Energy Star Pledge, which asks consumers to pledge to purchase an Energy Star certified product the next time they're shopping. So we have some new cute social media posts and graphics, some key messages, as well as a kids pledge to help you get kids involved in your campaign. The example right there is just one of the example of, we're doing sort of a movie theme of love themes to the earth this year. We also have, related to the pledge, sorry, one second, there it is. Your organization can choose to become a pledge driver. So in addition to just asking folks to take the pledge, you could become a pledge driver. And that means we'd set you up with a dedicated page on our website where you can actually track all of the pledges that you've gathered and the environmental impact that those are having. If you're interested in becoming a pledge driver or you've been one in the past, please contact Jill Vore and she can help get you set up with us. Please also join us. We're having an Earth Day Twitter chat on April 22nd. It'll be from 2 to 3. Use the hashtag EnergyStarChat to join the conversation and share your energy saving tips, as well as what your organization is doing to save energy and protect the environment. If you're planning to join us in the Twitter chat, please email changetheworld@energystar.gov and we can look for you and give you a shout out during the Twitter chat. We also have a popular Ways to Save Tips web service. This enables you to embed a rotating group of tips on a web page or a home page or your sustainability page so that each time a user visits, it is refreshed with a new tip. You can also pick sort of the categories of tips that you want when you're getting that web service set up. We also have our ever popular Lorax activity book. This is available as a digital download that you can print and use a handout. And all of the materials that I just featured, all the sort of Earth Day Made Easy, are available on a page. If you just search Energy Star Marketing Materials, it's the first 1 or 2 links that come up. So Energy Star Marketing Materials, and those are our very popular consumer materials that we make available. We also have our boot camp activity kits. These are themed kits to engage your occupants in saving energy around your building. So there's a whole series of actions that we encourage employees and occupants to take around lighting, plug load, saving water, et cetera. And we try to make it easy to co-brand and print or post these online or share them via email. And then, of course, for anybody that's involved with Energy Star for many years, you know our Bring Your Green to Work materials. These are posters, tip cards, a green team checklist, an IQ quiz, and interactive games to try and make it easy for people to engage in the same sustainability actions they're taking at home and bring those green actions to work. So to help you engage employees and promote sustainability to your occupants. And then lastly, we love seeing what creative examples you guys come up with. We always have baked goods, tattoos, exhibit booths, fairs, whatever it is. Don't forget to use the Energy Star logo to promote your sustainability actions and the way that you are saving energy and protecting the environment through energy efficiency. As Andrew mentioned, we'll have questions at the end, but with that, I will turn it over to our next guest speaker, Jessica.
Great, thanks. My name is Jessica Loper. I'm the Director of Sustainability for Commonwealth Partners, which is a privately owned real estate development management organization. We own and manage Class A multi-tenant office towers throughout major metropolitan areas that totals over 10 million square feet and around 30,000 people, building occupants that come to work each day. And although we have had sustainability programs for some time, we officially began our corporate specific sustainability programs in 2014 and have been improving consistently and providing tenant engagement programs at all of our managed properties over these last 5 years. And part of having a tenant engagement program to us means that we need to really establish a goal. And so, as they say, you can't manage what you don't measure. So what we chose to do at the beginning is using a 2013 baseline of data, we set a goal of, for 2020, reducing our overall energy emissions and water consumption by 20% and 75% diversion rate for waste. And then we utilize a variety of reporting programs to kind of help gauge our properties, how we're doing and where we can improve. And so by doing this, we can understand what is kind of our next steps. So we, over the years, have provided a lot of different metrics and ways to promote Earth Day. That's one of our biggest programs that we typically will run. Some have a live band. Some we typically always have an e-waste drive at every property. We always do some kind of elevator screen or lobby-based posters, all of that. So these are just some ideas. But first, what we have to do is identify our stakeholder engagement, who that is. So we have two ways with that. Our internal audience, which would be our employees, our property managers, our engineers, and the tenants. And so we actually have programs involved specifically for them to get their buy-in, to then provide programs for our external audience, or maybe it's policies that go to the, let's say, the janitorial staff of what needs to happen with our green cleaning products, let's say. So those are the ways that we evaluate first who's our audience and where can we have the best impact. And so what we've found is over the years is we try to use the same type of program each year, keeping it consistent. So we know, let's say for Earth Day, we know that there's going to be an event, that it's something that's scheduled and planned, and we can approve upon each year as we continue. And so we sort of have this, our annual calendar, how we message it, how we provide it to our tenants and to our the external community to be involved. And so with our communication strategy, we have a variety of tools that we utilize as we go through. We have our corporate website. We do provide a sustainability calendar. I'll show you in a second. We are constantly identifying and reporting on for our annual sustainability report of how we can improve. And then, of course, sustainability signage is the most important. And so you'll see in a bit, we utilize a lot of Energy Star specific material because it is something that's visible, that people understand and are willing to implement. So what I do as part of my job is every year at the beginning of the year, I send out a sustainability calendar for all of the property managers so that way they know what's going to happen for the year, the dates that are happening. And I always let them know before a new event is occurring. I'll provide the memos and the material. So that way it's a nice streamlined approach so that way we can get those programs going. Each property can have their choice of how they want to support the message, but overall we have a very general, similar program that's sent out. Some other events that we typically do is we just finished the Earth Hour campaign last weekend. We, of course, have our Earth Day e-waste events. National Bike to Work Day is something, and our tenant satisfaction surveys are something that we utilize to sort of gauge where are we at, are they interested in certain areas. We've been able to understand whether do the tenants want a resiliency tutorial and how can we help them with that. So depending on the different properties, we adjust to assist in that way. Along with those surveys, we also do an analysis for all our properties for a whole portfolio-wide analysis that we can then sort of gauge, all right, our composting programs are at this level. We know where we need to focus our efforts on. And so we're documenting what we have so that way we know where to improve on. So I wanted to show you our first sort of internal sample for stakeholder engagement. So we have participated in the Battle of the Buildings program for some time. And even though the last couple of years it wasn't initiated by Energy Star, but more of they provide the material. And so we continued on and kept up with the same type of program where we announced that there is going to be a Battle of the Buildings. So we're competing against all the other properties within the portfolio. And we identify each month what is going to happen. So our Water Awareness Month, energy, and waste. We've kind of made them general in the sense of the month, but then we get into specifics as we go through that month. And what we also do is at the end of our third month, we actually do a Green Office Challenge survey where all the properties, the tenants within each property can identify how they're doing. So after they've gone through this, did they make some changes? And so from that, we tally up the results and we give them an award for whoever is the most efficient, if you will. And we do this every year so that way the tenants can remember as well. We give awards to everyone, a little participation award for some, so that way they know where they have improvement and growth, and that they have the chance next year to improve upon what they've done this year. And so what we've done is we provide, what I typically will do is provide a memo for the property manager to send out to their tenants. And so it's an easy way for them to just send it along, and it's not as difficult. We have specific images that we've used, and we'll have those located in the property management office, in the lobby, and in the elevators, whether it's a screen or we'll even kind of put it up in an insert, and we switch those out monthly. And then we also have our own specific images and posters that we provide, so that way we can put those in certain break rooms and wherever else. And when we change them out each month, they're a little more visible and people notice them a little bit more than just always staying up. So, and then same with the next month, October, we do the same thing for our Energy Awareness Month, and we provide these samples so that way it's a real easy way. All of the material that I've provided, I package it up and send it along so that way each property manager doesn't have to kind of reinvent the wheel. And then finally for waste, we do the same thing. And it's nice because Energy Star allows, now that they have the waste tab, they've had water for some time, we also track our waste within Energy Star. It's a really nice, effective tool for us to keep tracking and identifying how each property is doing and comparing. And what I do is at the end is I also add up all of the totals, and we do an awards for the specific properties as well on how well they've done. And we not only do an award for the most efficient, but we also do an award for those with the most improvement. So they may never get to number one, but if we've seen significant improvement, we really try to highlight that and show that we're paying attention. And then from that internal, we go into our external stakeholder sample. So we provide in our annual sustainability report, in our newsletters, various results of our program and who won, who were the runners-up, and to provide kind of that additional support that we are really happy how they've participated in those programs. I'm thinking. One thing I really did want to mention is during our Earth Day lobby events last year, we did utilize this Energy Stats poster that Energy Star provided, and we received a significant amount of people coming up and paying attention to it. So some of them printed it as a poster, some of them just printed them out on their kind of lobby table, but each one significantly had a lot of tenants come in and try to understand what all this means. And so then we then also provided this information again into those that have elevator screens, saying, it helps understand that, your emissions from, 1,000 passenger vehicles in 1 year has been saved. That's significant. People can understand and quantify what that means. And so those types of events really help with teaching the tenant how we are trying to improve. They see that the property is trying to make a difference. And because from the top we have this corporate goal, we're able to move the needle forward and actually show some great emission reductions because of this in our programs. We also do some social media specific posts, but primarily we really are, as a private firm, we really are focused on kind of more the local community and how we're engaging with them. We do provide on our websites when a property has earned the Energy Star, we will report on that. So when tenants come in and take a look at the website, there's also a sustainability calendar so they can go in and identify, what's happening this month. So we try to keep that up to date, trying various methods so that way they have a better understanding. And then finally this year, we're actually rolling out these new sustainability leasing material where we have found that many new prospective tenants are asking specific sustainability questions. And so we have created a flyer, if you will, of various measures that each property has conducted, what their recognition at the portfolio level and at the property level, and how those programs are in place. and we're pretty excited about that. This is something that we'll also provide for our lobby events coming up and showing those off. And finally, it's just, I want to mention within any of these campaigns, there's always, trying to come up with a strategy and being consistent with it. So you can just start off very simple and just put up a lobby table, add some images from the Energy Star website, and show that, we have a goal that we want to try to implement. And so we kind of have these typical milestones, calendar events that we focus on for each campaign. And because we keep it on an annual basis, it really does help with your stakeholders to actually participate and do the buy-in. Because if they don't, then none of this will happen. But the way that I've been able to package it, provide it to a property manager, and they just send it on, I keep it easy for them, so that way it actually happens. And so we do utilize a lot of these various programs through Energy Star. I even utilize it, as was mentioned before, at my children's elementary school. We also do various programs and events utilizing Energy Star. And it is an easier way to message and that everyone sort of understands and knows. And that's about it.
Great. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing your story and your tips. That was really insightful. So I'm sure many people on the line probably have questions, so please remember to submit those in the chat box, and we'll cover those at the end of the presentation. And next, I'd like to introduce Kelly Stemkowski with Corning.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today, and thanks to EPA for allowing Corning to be part of this. I'm Kelly Stemkowski. I'm the Communication Specialist for Corporate Sustainability here at Corning. For the past 2 years, though this is a fairly new position for me, so for the past 2 years, I directly supported Corning's Global Energy Management team with their communications. So that is why I am here with you today. All right, so first I'll take you a little bit through just a brief overview of the company, our energy management program, how we communicate our energy successes, and a couple of internally focused campaigns really pointed at getting our employees involved in energy efficiency and energy education. All right, the company was founded in 1851. We're headquartered Corning, New York. That's where I'm based out of. We have operations all over the world in glass science, ceramic science, and optical physics. And these are just our business segments. Chances are you interact with some kind of Corning technology throughout your day. So we're involved in quite a few areas. All right, and our Global Energy Management Program was started around 2006, though the company was very concerned and very focused on saving energy and resources well before that. But 2006 was kind of when this program was formalized, and it's really grown. And today GEM is focused also on water savings and with a very large focus on renewable energy. We actually just announced today our first solar project in New York State at our Oneonta plant. So we're very excited about that. We do have quite a few other solar operations around the world, so that's always a big focus for Corning. And we have energy teams at every Corning plant around the world. That's very important to point out because they are really how we are getting these stories that we put out about our energy and water savings. So really quick, just some of GEM's, these are GEM's main strategies that the group focuses on, and I want to point you to number 5. That's kind of why we're here today and why we're talking about this. GEM thought it was so important that we communicate our successes to internal and external stakeholders that it's directly in their strategies. So again, this gives our teams around the world incentive to be sharing their stories, whether it's a project that they're completing in their plant or something that they're doing to spread energy awareness to their colleagues. So from those strategies, GEM does have communications objectives, and the group tries to make sure that anything that they're communicating about falls into at least one of these buckets. So these are really where the group is focusing their communications efforts on. And as you can probably tell, some of these are more internally focused, such as number 4, providing outlets for site energy teams to be recognized, whereas others like number 3 have a very heavy external focus. So just very quick, I just want to kind of take you through a little bit of our communications output, keeping in mind that Corning is a B2B company, and these figures are only for our communications dealing directly with our energy management program, and these are over 2018. So we did do quite a bit around pushing out our energy management program and successes, and just looking forward to building on that even more this year. So just very quick, want to take you a little bit through our actual process of gathering stories. As I said, we have site energy teams at every Corning plant around the world who are very enthusiastically feeding us what their teams are working on, and helping us to spread these messages and successes. We usually start with an internal story that goes on our internal employee news network, emailed newsletters, is promoted. We just moved from the social media platform Yammer to Jam, so we use that for internal communications quite often. So from there, we put out a lot of those stories onto our external site, and as you can see, corning.com/GEM, our energy management page is pretty robust with stories. So really what we're doing there is just scrubbing out anything, intellectual property or anything sensitive, but I mean, pretty much whatever we put out internally, we're pretty much trying to put that externally as well, and just making sure to keep those messages consistent throughout the board. So I'll take you through first our 2018 Partner of the Year announcement. Both of these campaigns, we really tried to focus on awareness with our employees and, sharing tips and best practices with them to help them save energy at both at home and at work. That's always our goal, to kind of inspire them to do that, and then go out and have them share that message as well. So our 2018 Partner of the Year Award kind of worked out perfectly with a good theme. It was our 5th consecutive Partner of the Year Award, and from the time the announcement news embargo was up there were 5 weeks in April there. So that kind of really worked out well to have this 5-week campaign to celebrate our 5th award. And obviously we released 5 different pieces of communication throughout those 5 weeks. So just keep in mind that this particular campaign was internal, but several of these things did go external as well, like the press release, the infographic, some of the other stories, but that things like the quiz for week 5 did stay internal. So along with that 5-week campaign of kind of activities that employees could take part in, we also released 5 things that you could do to celebrate Corning's 5th Energy Star Partner of the Year Award, including reading some of those stories that I just shared, posting to the Blue Line, which was our Yammer network, and we encourage people to tell us how they're an Energy Star who helps save energy and water at Corning or at home. We encouraged people to share the message with their teams. That included anyone who wanted to share this within their plant, but specifically for our site energy teams. We provided them with a lot of guidance and materials so that they could get this message out around their plants. So we did provide them with poster templates, TV slides, things to go in PowerPoint, several items to help them. We also had specially made computer backgrounds celebrating the 5th award. So we really encourage people to post that up on their computers, and also adding a little tagline after their email signature. So again, these are just a couple of examples of the TV slides and the computer backgrounds that we shared for people. And as you can see, again, with keeping the messaging consistent, we tried to keep them as simple as possible and we used the same imagery. And if you couldn't already guess, we had 5 of each that went out. Again, just keeping that same theme around our 5th award. And kind of along the same lines, we did sort of the same thing when it came October for Energy Awareness Month and Energy Star Day. We always really try to do a really well put together internal campaign, again, to spread awareness and education to our employees, because they're really our best ambassadors when it comes to, communicating outside the company. And if we can get our employees on board and, have them really believing that energy savings is important, then they will go out and share that message. So just real quick, some of our goals around the month campaign. We obviously wanted to spread awareness about the importance of conserving energy, promoting Energy Star, engaging with our employees around the world, and like I said, sharing tips for everyone to save energy. So throughout the month, we again, I'm focusing on the internal part of the campaign, but we did have both internal and external stories and social media posts throughout the month. We did a special edition of our monthly email blast. We had weekly activities for the chance to win some prizes. And I think something that made some of the biggest impact was having local info tables up here in Corning, New York. But then we also provided employees around the world with a toolkit to do their own local info tables. If I could, I would have flown around the world and done it for them, but that's not always possible. So just having those consistent tools and materials for sites around the world to kind of do these activities is really important as well. So again, we saw success with the weekly activities released for the Partner of the Year announcement, so we kept to that for last October as well. And we also repeated ourselves with a quiz, which we saw a lot of success with. Employees really seemed to enjoy that. We made it kind of tongue-in-cheek, a little, humorous about, what you're doing to save energy. And the quiz gave them results at the end, about, they're either a total Energy Star and they're fantastic and, doing all they can do to save energy. Here are some other tips from Energy Star, or the least energy savers got, further tips and things that they can do a little better. But everyone seemed to enjoy that. So pushing out that Energy Star message again, we had people choose an Energy Star video on YouTube and then share on our Yammer page what they learned. Again, that's just kind of getting Energy Star's resources out there so that everyone's aware. They could submit energy-saving tips or, again, post to Yammer about energy-saving activities that they completed. And then we also pushed out the Energy Star Pledge. These are just a couple photos from our info tables, which were very well attended. We had our several GEM rack cards that we had developed about our various programs and info. We had a lot of Energy Star info, including those fantastic Lorax coloring books, which went very well. We had a whiteboard that we grabbed people who were walking by, and they wrote down tips that they do to save energy. And if they did that, they got to take home a pack of LED light bulbs. And we had some candy, of course, with cute little energy savings. So all of these things, just to spread the message and to get employees involved. So that is all I had. But again, thank you for allowing us to be part of this, and I hope you can take some of these tips and use them.
Thank you, Kelly, for sharing your story at Corning. We'll now move into Q&A. So if you haven't already submitted a question for the presenters, either Elena, Jessica, and or Kelly, please go ahead and do that. And Andrew will get started with posing those questions to the presenters.